Hello, dear friends. Here we are. Yes, it's 21 days of empowerment, redefining money, based on the book Money by the spirit author Emmanuel through the medium Chico Xavier. This book, Money, can be acquired at the website of the United States Spiritist Federation, www.spiritist.us, and there you have an opportunity to get to know of this book and many others. Oh yes, and remember, all of the episodes we have been recording here with you live and with other programs from other books as well are available at the YouTube channel of Kardec Radio. Just go there, YouTube, and then you type in Kardec Radio, and there you have it. We have After Death, 15 chapters of the book After Death by Leon Denis. We have Thought in Life by Emmanuel, Paul and Stephen, and Good News by Umberto de Campos. And now the book Money. Today is our day 14. Yes, 14th, because it's chapter 13th on talents. It's the second time in this book that Emmanuel reinforces the concept of talent. Why? Why is this so important? In a book in which we are studying about money, money coming from God. Money is also from God, as Emmanuel explained to us. But he repeats this chapter, talents. Is it a repetition, simple repetition, or is he bringing to us a new concept? Let us check it out, shall we? Yes, so let us say hi to our beautiful community. What a beautiful community we have here that supports one another, help each other, right? With beautiful thoughts, beautiful words, beautiful feelings, and beautiful actions. Hello, Adilson. How are you, my friend? And Valeria. Oh, Valeria. And Sunshine. Yes, Sunshine. Hello, Andrea. Angelira. Yes, how are you? And Lea Severo, how are you? Ceissa, welcome, welcome. And Tuani with Luciana, right? Yes, I know. And Paula, how are you, friend? All right, so here we are, and this chapter is about talents. Hello, Erica. And Danny is there too, right? Yes, you see, we are together, in this beautiful journey today, discovering something new. There must be something new, because Emmanuel, though, as a good educator, he repeats. But this is not a simple repetition. It has a new element to it. Remember when André Luiz, in the book Evolution in Two Worlds, he explains to us that we evolve through effort and repetition. So beautiful. The importance of allowing ourselves to make effort. Oh yeah, we need to work out the muscles of the soul. It doesn't come as simple as just letting it flow. I remember a good friend asking a question to us regarding life. Should I allow life to take me? It's so common that many people feel that when things have to happen, they just happen spontaneously. We don't think so. According to the science of the spirits, everything in nature, even science, material science, proves to us that everything in nature actually happens through effort, and spontaneity comes secondary. No wonder Emmanuel and André Luiz through Chico Xavier repeat in several books that spontaneity follows discipline. Discipline comes first, and then spontaneity. Why? First, I make an effort to acquire a new habit, and then the new habit is established. It becomes automated. It becomes spontaneous. That's the law of life. Many people, they avoid working out their talents because they think, well, if I were supposed to be doing this, it would happen very easily. If it doesn't come easy, it's a sign I'm not supposed to do it. That's not a strong rationale. Because according to nature, look at everything in nature. From a seed that needs to sprout through underneath the dark soil of the earth, to go up to the surface and go on and break all. It's really groundbreaking effort, right? Same for us. We need to make efforts to break the ground of our common habits and become anew and sprout something new. How do you feel about this? Does it feel good? I think so, right? It feels good just to know that that's the order of events. I need to apply myself onto something, make an effort for that thing to become spontaneous and automated. That has everything to do with what we're talking about today, talents. Why does Emmanuel, in a previous chapter, he talks about the talent of all, and now he's going to bring back to us in chapter 13, talking about talents. Let's hear from him first, and then we will come back to our community and the breakdown of it all. Talents. Let us be permeable, reverent to this beautiful wisdom, which is not an opinion, but is true. It's the truth that is brought by the superior spirits to us. It's the science of the spirits sharing with us like a textbook. Poverty is not the creation of the all-merciful. It only exists as a function of individuals' ignorance, who sometimes throw themselves into the abyss of lack, of complacency, or of idleness, thereby creating imbalances or shortages. The Lord has given talents to all his creatures everywhere. Observe the elements of work that life has given to you. And do not forget that the only spring or source that sustains legitimate wealth is always work. Gold is a talent that can extend progress. The plight of intelligence is a resource to extend culture. Scarcity is the process of acquiring noble qualities for those who learn to serve. Joy is the source of stimulation. Pain for those who devote themselves excuse me, for those who devote themselves to constructive acceptance can transform into a spring of humility. Each of us receives an inheritance of congenital past possibilities of service that characterize our tendencies in this world according to the merits and needs that we may present. For this reason, it is indispensable to use time wisely. However, it may be used once the days pass until the Lord takes account of the credits he generously lent us. Use understanding so that terrestrial wealth does not roost you in the web of miserliness, and scarcity does not imprison you in the flames of rebellion. The abundance that detours in selfishness and the trial that is wasted in delinquency are helpless in the ways of the world. Pour the treasure of love that the Heavenly Father has put in your heart through the blessings of brotherhood, of sympathy, of kindness, and of hope towards others and towards any of your social groups. And you will invariably be really happy under the blessings of heaven and earth. Beautiful, but shall we feel the scripture? Yeah, we need to feel it, right? We do need to feel it. It's about talents. And before we break it down, let's say hi to the beautiful community that is building up. And you know, these studies are therapeutic conversations, and we always communicate with each and everyone who is coming in, so we have a feeling of a spiritual center, of a moment in which we're together, we're seeing each other, we're acknowledging each other's presences, okay? So it's very important that we do this interaction and acknowledge each other's presences. Hello, dear Marisa. Yes, we've been doing this live. It's been actually 90 days. We stopped for a few days, but when we were recording, but then we had to shift things around. Hello, Mamma Mia. Yeah, Mommy. Thank you, Mom. And Rihanna, beautiful Rihanna. And Money. Hello. Money from New Zealand. We read the parable of the talents on our study on Wednesday in New Zealand. How beautiful. We have friends here from South Africa, from Australia, from New Zealand, from Brazil, from United States, Canada, Europe. What a beautiful classroom together. We're learning together, right? Thank you, Money, for sharing it. Ivan, how are you? And Hercules. Marisa is sharing with us that she studied this message this morning from Jesus in the Home. How precious, right? Thank you, dear Marisa. Thank you. And God bless our dear Ed. Right? How beautiful life is. Life goes on. Right? João Bosco, my friend. Here we are. Let us go back now. Talents. Remember when Emmanuel, in another talent, page 59. Let's go back just a little bit. He talks, the talent of all, right? The talent of all talents and of everything. He says, work is the talent of all. That's the bottom line of that chapter. But it's not enough. Of all these chapters he's publishing here in this beautiful textbook, though pocketbook size, it's a textbook because it contains truth for immortality. You and I are spending this time that will be an investment for immortality. No matter how many lives we live from now on, or even in between lives, these teachings are true acquisitions for the soul to immortality. It's never a waste. But why does Emmanuel, of all things, studying money from a spiritual perspective, he brings again a specific chapter talking about talents? Because now he's gonna outline not only work, but other talents. He is helping us redefine the way we see material tools, like money. Hello, McCarthy, Claire, welcome, welcome. But as beautiful as it is, he begins the chapter talking about poverty. And why? Why is he beginning the chapter talking about poverty? And observe that he ends the chapter, okay, talking about treasure. But which treasure? Of love? Let's observe that Emmanuel, in his skillful thinking and writing, he summarizes it all by pairing up the polarities. Scarcity, treasure of love. What is this scarcity? Poverty. He says, poverty is not a creation of God, because God is merciful. But who created poverty? No, God created poverty to teach people about lessons. No. Lessons of this, that, and the other. No, God did not. Poverty only exists as a function of our own ignorance. Not that the person who is poor is ignorant, but he's saying that humanity still leaves this time of ignorance. And because we throw ourselves in the abyss of lack, of idleness, laziness, as Casimiro Cunha, the poet of the spirits, right? Through Chico Xavier, wrote many books, amongst them Drops of Light, not in English yet, Gotas de Luz. And he talks about laziness. And here he's saying, Emmanuel, the abyss of lack, complacency, idleness, creating imbalances and shortages. So he's saying, poverty is the outcome, the byproduct of what? Ignorance plus idleness or laziness plus complacency, right? And lack. But remember when Emmanuel tells us that everything is in the mind? So in order for us to not fall trapped in this abyss of ignorance that generates poverty, what do we need to do? The exercise is in the mind. Is in the mind. And we're not saying about visualizing $1,100,000 bills. No, we're talking about visualizing the glass half full always. Seek the good, feel the good, visualize the good, mold ourselves to the good. Playing that note, right? That's why yesterday we were sharing an exercise that hopefully you were able or had time to do during the day. Take your phone and take pictures of beautiful moments, not only of friends, but things in nature, at least once a day, because that's an exercise to see the beauty, to see the half glass full. When people are pessimistic, they can see a mom and a child playing beautifully and they don't even notice. They don't take a picture. They don't videotape it. We can see a beautiful bird singing on a tree and we don't notice. Beautiful flowers blooming and we don't notice. We can see the beauty and the harmony of the environment around us, we don't notice. Or the beauty of our anatomy, not in a sensual, sexual way, but how beautiful it is. even when we have imperfections, but the beauty even in the imperfections. Like Virginia said, oh, Mom, you have a little ball here. And I said, yeah, it's a ball of love bursting out. How about that, right? So we really need to exercise it. Because if poverty is the byproduct of ignorance, of idleness, it first begins in the mind. Poverty exists in the mind. Some people are so afraid of poverty that if you even say the word, they're like, oh, please don't tell me about it. Hold on, friends. Because abundance is all that is. Poverty is just the lack. It's like good and evil. Evil is the absence of the good. Darkness is the absence of the light. How about training our eyes to see the good in others? One of the things that we've come to know through science, through the science of the spirit as well, is that people have that need to feel accepted. And often people say, oh, but I feel people don't accept me for who I am. But the question is the reverse. Do you accept people for who they are? Kind of. So that's an exercise. How do I accept them for who they are? I look at them and I say, what? Welcome, welcome, dear soul. Now you're here. Let us grow. Let us love. Let us serve. Let us help everyone. Welcome, welcome, dear soul. And I'm here to love you so. Yes, inside of ourselves, we're singing that constantly to people. It doesn't mean that we're going to allow ourselves to be abused. No, no, no. But like Jesus, our guiding model, he looked at people, he accepted, and he still accepts us for who we are. But he's available to help us, to guide us, to model what we need to do in that pathway. How do you feel when people encounter you and you feel you're accepted? We need to train it inside of us, right? How many reincarnations we've been resisting this approval of the other. We've been working on a very particular button, judgment. We've been so used to judging others, that right now it's almost like we can't stop it. But you know why? Because phylogenetically, which means our biology, has been built from species to species, kingdom to kingdom, to preserve itself. As a mechanism of defense, I needed to evaluate others in order for me to preserve myself. When we come to the human level, we come to that state in which we need to tame that impulse of preservation when we see the things that are different from us. And that's when we may incur in prejudices, discrimination, out of the sense of defense. People are weird, and I shut myself down to them. Immigrants, shut myself to them, push them away. But you know, we see others doing this, but don't we do the same? We do the same. If we don't do it in words, we do it in our thoughts. We see people behaving differently. The first thing is preserve ourselves. So it's an emotional training to have that inner preservation so solid in our connection with God that we don't need to avoid people. But just like Jesus, you feel protected because you're one with God, and you don't need to be constantly defending yourself from others. That causes a lot of stress, the stress response. Because we're constantly feeling like everything's strange, the world is challenging, everything's difficult, and our stress response to the world becomes highly activated. And then we are putting ourselves into the chronic stress mode, which is going to generate a lot of problems for us. And that feeling of overwhelmingness. So what do? Communion with God, making us feel the half glass full. And as such, I always see the good, like Jesus taught us. And I trust the divine into everyone and in myself. Right? He's saying that imbalances and shortages are outcomes of idleness, ignorance, lack, and complacency. He says, God has given talents to all of his creatures. Creatures meaning even the non-humans. It's so beautiful. A little bird, like Virginia says, a birdie. Bluebird. In Virginia we have, the state of Virginia, we have the cardinal, the beautiful red bird, cardinal. And we have so many others. And the trees and the flowers and the sky. And open the department of imagination and think about the billions of stars. And today we were watching a little bit on the live channel. They were talking to astronomers about the first time they were video recording a black hole, like millions and millions light away, showing to us like the universe is shockingly enormous. It's abundant. And you and I are part of it. Abundant. We're the children of abundance. And not material abundance, abundance, everything. Right? Hello, Julija, and Melissa, and Luciana. Hello. So, gave us talents. And he asks us, observe the elements of work that life has given to you. And do not forget that the only spring or source that sustains legitimate wealth is always work. Remember when he talked about the talent of all being work, opposite of laziness? And when André Louis says everything is about effort and repetition, we are destined to make ourselves useful, because that's the definition of work. In the Spirit's book, by Allan Kardec, Law of Work, third part of the Spirit's book, Kardec asked, what is the definition of work? And they replied, any useful occupation, studying, work, helping others, work, eating healthy, work, cooking, work, cleaning, work, meditating for inner realization, work. Now I love work more than ever. And people are dreaming about resting. Resting is useful, but that's not the resting mode. Is just pauses for the main mode, which is work. There are people who go to work and they are already dreaming. Before they leave their homes, they're already thinking, gosh, I'm leaving my home, but I'm dreaming about coming back. And some people told me, Anise, can you believe I used to be like this? And I shared this with you with their permission, without names, of course. They are so funny. They said, I used to look at my bed in the morning and say, oh, bed, sweet bed, I look forward to coming back to you. Writing a poem to the bed. Instead, please, friends, write a poem to Divaldo Franco. Because this coming April, the April, May, June is the periodical. We're dedicating the Spiritist magazine to Divaldo Franco. And we're opening opportunities for everybody who wants to write to him. So write a poem to Divaldo Franco, not to the bed, not to the couch, not to your table at home where you're gonna eat, but to Divaldo. Write a poem. Design a beautiful cover because we need it. Write anything, even if you want to write an article, submit it. Deadline March 15th, a month from now. Come on, hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Dun, 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 dun. Right. Julija and Ale, hello friend. I loved being in Orlando, the Peace and Knowledge Center. Livia Trevisani, friends, and you, Ale, and others. What a beautiful center. We already recommended to everybody who is visiting Orlando to visit the Center Peace and Knowledge. And also the other one, Love and Charity, right? Thank you. So, work is a talent, the talent of all. But what about gold? It's a talent. Yoo-hoo! Spiritists doesn't condemn money. Thank God. No, that doesn't mean we're gonna kiss the bills. No, we're just gonna work with them. No conflicts. Trash it out. You wanna trash it out? I have a trash can here. Trash can for you. If you wanna trash it out, your conflict for money. Literally, trash it out. I am gonna help trash mine out. Boom. That's it. We need to do this very real because we have this conflict for many lives. For several lives, we have been conflicted about money. Like either loving money or pushing it away. Now we are coming to reconcile ourselves. And gold is a talent that can extend progress. You have money? Look at the money, look at gold, look at the resources, material resources, and say, woo, progress, but not only for us, for everybody. Hello, Rita Di Cassia. And the plight of intelligence is a resort to extend culture. Our intelligence. You have beautiful ideas? Go and extend culture. Yes. For example, I was talking to friends in Orlando. As Mentor Joseph was saying, we need to create, and this is the byproduct of intelligence of the spirits, spaces in spiritist centers for children, if possible, and for youth. Some centers have it, but not only for when they have their activities once a week, but whenever they come to the center. So inspired by the American libraries, the public libraries, where they have spaces dedicated to children and youth, we have created a little corner, little space, but a space in our center in Virginia, the Spirit side of Virginia, for the kids. So whenever they come with their parents, with or without activities specifically for children, before the meetings, after the meetings, They can go there. We have a mini library for them. We have crayons and coloring pictures that pertain to the ideas of what we study in a center, so they can sit down, and books that pertain to the topics, so they can stay there in their space and feel the center is theirs as well. So the talent of intelligence being used to promote spiritual culture as well to all ages. Why does a spiritist center need to be a place only for adults and once a week for children? Children need to feel that they can come at any time to the center. They have their corner. Of course there are rules, but even the parents love it. And we were inspired by Mentor Joseph when we were in a public library with Virginia Karen Mark. And Mentor Joseph said, Vanessa, you can't resist the impulse of children to making their room in the center. Create a room. And then we created. What a different feeling for everyone, for the children, for the parents, even for adults. Yes, friends, the plight of intelligence as a talent. He's talking about talents. Gold is a talent that stimulates progress. Intelligence that brings culture. Now, scarcity. Scarcity as a talent that boosts our noble quality of serving. True. It's so beautiful to serve, but sometimes we sit on our chair and we're so used to being served that we forget that our role in life is to serve. As Emmanuel says in the book Living Spring, we are born to learn and to serve, to learn and to serve, to learn and to serve. Right? That's beautiful. Joy as the source of stimulation. Joy is a talent. But how do I acquire? Where is a store that I can buy it? No. Make an effort and you got it. Right? Right, Andrea? Yes. We need to share this spiritual culture and to share these talents with others, right? So joy is also a talent. Scarcity is a talent. When we lack, instead of being worried, we say, what is the lesson for me to learn through this phase of scarcity? Because it passes. What do I need to learn? Rejoice. And rejoice, knowing that it's going to pass, but it's only going to pass when we learn it. What do I need to learn? What is it? Therapeutic moment? What do I learn? It's our emotion meter. Let us have our emotion meter here as if we have like blinking lines, 0 to 10. When you feel scarcity is knocking at your door, what are the potential lessons you can learn? 0, no lessons, or a million lessons, not only 10, but a million lessons. What could be the lessons? Right? Right now, we're going through a phase in which people have choices to stay optimistic or to stay negative and pessimistic, blaming others for the creation of this collective mindset. In the book The Messengers, by André Luiz through Chico Xavier. We have a beautiful chapter. André Luiz is volitating, like flying, right? As a discarnate spirit, with the instructor, and he sees clouds in the sky, over the city where he is in. Doesn't matter, the city could be any city. He says to us, he says that he asked the instructor, what is this? Clouds of rain? And the instructor says, no. These are actual clouds of mental bacteria. Mental bacteria that are accumulated due to the negative thinking of people, the non-stop negative thinking of theirs. That's the importance of reading André Luiz books through Chico Xavier. Oh, but I've read them. Read it again. It's a concentrated, each book is so concentrated with teachings. So when we observe it, we think, wow, what can I do to counterbalance it? Go to the streets and have beautiful thoughts. Ask your children daily, let's have a beautiful thought. You know, when you have that feeling that something is off, instead of thinking like, what is happening? Just say, no. I allow myself to feel the good, to see the good, to visualize the good, to mold this moment to the good and beautiful thought. And ask your children, beautiful thought. And you know, as beautiful as it is, they're going to ask the adults around, beautiful thoughts now? And we have these exercises. Work the department of imagination. Whenever you're driving, walking, wherever you are, visualize beautiful things happening. There's no limit to your imagination. And don't be afraid, you're not going to go crazy. As a psychologist, I tell you, and a neuroscientist, imagination is always good. As long as we know that we're creating with our thoughts and that the reality we're seeing with our senses, they're different. Both are reality. The mind is real. Whatever happens in the mind is real. But what the physical senses are picking up is another one, right? So, even as mediums, we know what we're seeing with the eyes of the spirit and what we're perceiving with the physical senses. And we know there can be complementary. And that doesn't confuse us. That doesn't make us crazy. On the other hand, it actually brings us to greater self-control, inner balance. So our dear Andrea is sharing that her daughter is reading the gospel in Portuguese because you taught her. That's beautiful. And that's precious, by the way. Very precious. And Julija is sharing with us, how can we teach children to love, to search for God, and do the good in a way that they will love it? When I was a kid, I was pushed to go to the church. And when I was older, I used to hide in the house because I was bored there and I didn't understand it. But I don't know. Is it due to that? But I was the seeker always and had this feeling of connection with Jesus and Mary all of my life. Beautiful question, Julija. You know, in our community, Spiritist Parenting, we have the Facebook and we have the website, Spiritist Support for Parents or Spiritist Parenting in Facebook. We have been talking to several parents about it. As you know, my friend Julija, because you're teaching that to your daughter, that mission of the parents to connect our children consciously to God is the joy we feel about God and Jesus and Mary and everything. If we teach them by the nonverbal is the most powerful one, not the verbal. Many parents are concerned about, how am I going to say it? How am I going to explain it? Don't feel it. If you feel it, they will feel it. And you're probably bored because you felt there were non-congruency between words and actions. Right? So now you love. You love God, you love Jesus, you love Mary, you're committed to your spiritual practice, and I can tell by your picture, your daughter feels it with you. So you're already doing it. And how can we do it? By feeling. Words complement, as St. Francis of Assisi said, but it's about feeling. When they see that we're happy and joyful there, that we're doing the services out of joy and out of our hearts, they love it too. But we don't need to worry. Like Paul of Tarsus said, I planted, Apollo watered it, and God took care of the growth. So the growth of these seeds of joy and spirituality to our kids, God is taking care of the growth of it. It's between God and them. So we don't need to worry. We just keep sowing, and they will have their moment. And they need to go through their tests. And we know that the world is beautifully challenging, and we trust that they know that they are children of God, and they are destined to be happy and to serve the Lord of life, right? Exactly, friends. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Dun, 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 dun. Do we feel Christmas every day? We feel, right? In our community, it's Christmas every day. Joy is the source of stimulation. What a talent. But now, beautiful, and when I was reading this, I coughed. And I was very happy that I coughed, because it was precisely an example of what the man is saying. Pain, for those who devote themselves to constructive acceptance, can transform into a spring of humility. Yeah, I mean, who likes to have a cold? Nobody. But this last night when I woke up at 4:30, feeling some discomfort, I said, wow, this is what these children are feeling, what Virginia was feeling a week ago. Wow, God, I don't want this on anybody. Thank you for showing me this, because sometimes you see your children sick and you feel it, but you don't know exactly, you don't recall it. But when you go through it yourself, you're like, man, now I know precisely how it feels, why she was crying that day, why. What a beautiful experience to know how others feel when you go through it. So pain is beautiful because it humbles us. Yeah, I'm not a super person. No, we're just humans. Humans are cool. Yes, when we learn to be humans. Like Emmanuel says in the book Living in Spring, real humanity. Real humanity is what Jesus exemplified. It's wonderful. But, it's not being superheroes. So thank you, Code, for coming along and grounding us, making us feel humble, making us feel human. It's good to be human. It's great. Thank you, viruses. Thank you, viruses. But if you go back to your world somewhere else in the universe, reincarnate, I would appreciate it more, right? Yes, but thank you. Pain is a talent. Yeah. Be a neuroscientist of pain. We learn the beauty of pain. Pain is so intrinsically connected with our perception that we can change the way we feel it. But what is the lesson that it brings to us? As a talent of humanity, Leon Denis says to us, pain is law in our world. So what is this talent telling us? Humble yourself. Yes, sir. I am getting there. I need it. Right? Hello, Jussara. Each of us receives an inheritance of congenital past possibilities of service that characterize our tendencies in this world according to the merits and needs that we may present. So he's talking about previous lives, how we acquire specific tools to grow. For this reason, it's indispensable to use our time wisely. 0 to 10, exercise for us. How are you managing your time, friend? Let us think for ourselves. This is a moment of therapeutic realization. How are you dealing with time? Wisely? 0. Not at all. 10. Oh yeah. How are we using time? So he's saying, of all talents, time and work. Use understanding so that wealth or scarcity does not lead us into the abyss of failure. Thank you, Jussara, for being here. Man, you're also a work machine. I know you, Jussara. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you. The abundance that detours in selfishness. Now a big lesson before we wrap up. Any abundance, he's not talking abundance of money. If you have abundance, even of pain, and I don't use it for the benefit of others, what is going to happen? It's going to be helpless. I have to start the lesson again. Abundance of any of these talents we've studied. Abundance in general. Abundance of intelligence. Abundance of anything. If I don't use it for the general good, if I keep it to myself, he's saying, if I detour in selfishness, I am going to have to repeat the lesson. Because God doesn't punish us. He educates us. But we'll have to go back. Repeat. And there are people who have been repeating. Is it possible to repeat the lesson a million times? Yeah, as many as needed. Until we acquire. Remember, effort, repetition. We need to go through the experience to make sure we have learned it. So Melissa is sharing. I have an abundance of things to do. That's a blessing, right? And Rudy kindly sharing, being here is an abundance. It is, but we can't keep it to ourselves, remember. We need to share. Not only sharing the post, but sharing in our hearts. Wake up and say, oh man, abundance of time. 24 hours. Run! No, don't run. Walk. Walk. Take your time. But smile more. Complain less. Talk more beautiful things. Yes. Rejoice more. Right? Love more. Hate less. There are people who should erase that word hate from their vocabulary. They say, I hate this. No. Don't hate anything. Don't hate anything. Please don't. Let us trash it out. Take the word hate, trash it out. And say something you like. Instead of paying attention to what you dislike, We pay attention to what I like. There are people who see a number of different types of chocolate and they say, I don't like this, I don't like this. Seeing the negative, how about, I like this, and I like this, and I like that one. I like this more than this, more than that, more than that. You see, we become more positive. Positive in the use of our words. Right? Yes. And as Melissa is saying, when we do things with God in our hearts, piece of cake. Uh-oh. Calorie-free cake. Finally, Emmanuel, you know, it surprises me when we do these studies to see how a beautiful, kind educator he is. He's determined, but he's so kind. He's always sharing with us something so positive. He's saying, pour the treasure of love. Pour. It's like this. No, I'm gonna put the water here. No, because of the computer. But visualize. Pouring. The treasure of love that the Heavenly Father has put in your heart through the blessings of brotherhood, sympathy, kindness, hope. And you will invariably be happy. So what do? Approve others. Look at the world and say, welcome, welcome, dear soul. Now you're here in front of me. Let us grow. Let us what? Let us walk. Let us learn. Let us help everyone. Welcome, welcome, dear soul. And I'm here to love you so inside of our minds. Telling people, you are light, you are peace, you are joy of living. Your light, your peace, your joy of living. I understand you. I approve of you. You're divine. We don't need to say, we need to feel it. Think of it. Natural people are going to be embraced. Friends, let us rejoice, and this is the exercise for this day. We're turning midnight here and in the rest of the world. The rest of the world? No, the world, because there's no rest. There is just the world. Everyone else who is already on their new day, continue your day filled with your blessings, looking at people, and as Emmanuel is saying, approve the divine in everyone. Namaste, everyone. Shall we? Yeah? And let's go with God. God willing, we'll be back. And we'll be back in 23 hours. For happy poverty? What is this, Emmanuel? That's a question for another time. In 23 hours. For now, a big kiss and a hug. Much gratitude to the good spirits, to God. God willing, we'll see you later.